And okay, rolling. So welcome today. Come to your mat in a comfortable seat. Yeah, where we're gonna start. So our today's theme is self-love. Show me some love. Actually, show yourself some love. So we're gonna dedicate this practice to recognizing that love that we feel for ourselves. And by being here on your mat, you're already showing a lot of self-love. And I would like you to take it easy today with the postures. If that feels too much, appreciate and respect your body. And just come to maybe an earlier pose, or maybe in child's pose. Take a rest, take a breath, and then move back when you're ready, as a general advice. Anyway, it always works in every class. So close your eyes here for a second, hands on the knees, hips might be elevated with a block. And once you are settled in this comfortable seat, bring your attention to your breath. First, just recognizing your own breathing. This might gonna be the first time today when you mindfully focus on your breath. Feel as the air enters and leaves your body. Feel as your body parts are moving when you inhale and moving as you exhale. And then start to deepen this breath, preferably in through and out through your nose. Bringing the air down to the belly, so you let your belly come out as much as needed, and let it deflate and get fluffy as you exhale without holding it too much. No one's here to judge you with fluffy bellies and raising bellies. That's also part of a life. At one point, I think we'll try to reach the sense of loving our belly. Then maybe stay here, just mindfully bringing the air all the way down. Or another option is to fill up your belly and then let your chest to expand. And let your upper part, upper chest, just below your neck, expand before you exhale. From the bottom, moving up. So you feel the belly as you inhale. Feel your lungs expanding the rib cages. And then feel the top of your chest where your collarbones are. And then exhale, releasing. Feeling the belly, letting the ribs to expand, letting your collarbone to expand. And exhale out the same way, deflating the belly first, and letting your rib cages move back to its normal. And let the top of your chest to relax. Taking a few more breaths here. Consciously slowing down this rhythm of inhales and exhales. So throughout the practice, you can try to fully breath, this full body breath whenever you bring your focus in the whole body. Also, if that feels too much, just bring the air down to the belly, moving your diaphragm, and it's not going to be too hard to deep belly breath. So if you feel that you can't bring the air all the way down, step one back or ease the pose. Then you can flatten the eyes open if you haven't already. Clasp your fingers. Inhale to move it over your head, turning the palms outwards. And as you exhale, bringing the belly button in, curving your spine backwards, moving your chin close to the chest, coming to cat pose. Inhale to lift up, opening the chest, opening the shoulders as much as possible with the bind. Exhale to release, coming to cat pose again. Inhale, filling up the belly, the chest, let it expand. Exhale, releasing the air, bringing the belly button in. One more time, coming to cow pose. Inhaling, opening the chest, and then exhale to cat, releasing the air. Next inhale, bringing us back to neutral, releasing the fingers. And then as you exhale, moving your left hand to your right knee, twisting slightly to your right side. And as you inhale, cross your right hand over to the left knee, so making a little X in front of your body. Then moving to the twist as you exhale. Inhale to move the arm back, making the X in front of you. Exhale to twist to the other side. Inhale to move back to center, crossing your arm with the other one. Exhale to twist. Then moving back to the center, placing one hand on the knee, two hands on the knee, both hands on both knees. And then bring your hands behind you, clasping the fingers again. And this time, as you inhale, push down your interlaced fists, pushing down the shoulders. And with that movement, let your chest to expand, maybe looking slightly up if that feels all right on the neck. Otherwise, keeping your chin close to the chest. Maybe lifting slightly more upward with the inhales. And relax with the exhale. And then release the pose with the next exhale. And we are moving to the side. So bringing the right hand next to your hips. Inhale, bringing up the left arm. And as you exhale, dip down to the side, stretching the left side of the body. Like you try to reach something in the far corner of the room. Actively try to keep the chest open. It doesn't really matter how deep you go down. It's more important to bring that upper shoulder backwards. So your chest is almost looking at the ceiling. Next, inhale, bring us up. Switching hands. Lifting the right hand this time. And then coming down, stretching your side with the exhale. Reaching for the far corner of the room. And then opening the chest, the shoulder. Then coming back to the center with the next inhale. And then we're going to move to a tabletop. And just a quick glute adjustment. So then we're gonna move to a tabletop. And do some more cats and cow here the same way. Inhale to drop the belly, lifting the chest, lifting the head. Exhale, bringing the belly button in, curving the spine, letting your head grow heavy. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale to look up, let the belly move in the direction of the floor. Exhale to bring the belly button in and curve your spine upwards. Don't forget to spread your fingers wide. And maybe clasping your fingertips to the mat so your hands are active down on the ground. And by doing it, you can remove some weight and stress from the wrist. With the next inhale, come back to center. Maybe moving your left hand slightly closer to the midline. And then twisting upward with your right hand as much as possible. Maybe your hips are even coming a bit more on the side or in a funny way. Inhale here again, reach further. And then as you exhale, lead your hands under your other arm, coming down to your mat. And face the right side of the face coming to your mat. Your hand is in front of you. And hello, cat. One option is to stay here. Another option is to lift that left arm up, reaching the ceiling with the left hand. If you decided to use your hands, and slowly bringing it down. And the next inhale, pushing yourself back to a tabletop. Then moving your right hand slightly closer to the midline. Bringing up your left arm, twisting to the left for a few breaths. Next inhale, reaching even further. And then as you exhale, threading your hand and arm under the other arm, moving the left side of your face and your left shoulder down to the mat. If that's enough, stay here. If you want to play a bit more, you can reach up with your right hand, right arm, trying to touch the ceiling above you. And then bringing the hands down if you move that up. And with the next inhale, moving out of the bind. And then come into a comfortable child's pose. You might want to open your knees a bit more, creating a deeper stretch on your hips and creating some space for your belly. An option is to stay as you are, or you can bend your elbows and moving your hands above your head in a prayer position. Maybe stretching your wrists on the other side, giving it hello, some circles. So you can counter, move. And bring your hands down if you choose to come into a prayer. And slowly bring your body up in a tabletop again. And from here, we're going to walk the hands down, walk the hands forward to the front of the mat. Coming into a puppy posture, resting your forehead on the mat, reaching your arms to the front of your mat. Keep breathing deeply even here. Then pushing your elbows down on the mat, lifting your body slightly up and sliding your weight forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Then when you arrive, you can check on your elbows to be under your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. And just let your chest and shoulder open even more. Optionally, you can look over one shoulder, checking on your legs, coming back to center, and then checking on through your other shoulder, seeing your toes and your heels most likely. Then bring it back to the center. And then slowly release yourself, bringing your hands under the shoulders. Or if you want a little activation of your core, you can bring your hands forward and to the side out of the mat onto your fingertips. Both options are perfectly fine and valid. And with your next inhale, lift up from your chest, coming into a baby cobra, maybe with the help of your hands, maybe without it. And exhale to release down, letting your forehead touch the ground again. Inhale to move up to baby cobra. Exhale to release. Moving with your own breath. Maybe it's just a small, tiny movement of your chest. Maybe you can try to lift more and more up with your inhales. Lifting it higher with every breath you take, and then releasing when you breathe out. And then move up one more time, and then release it all the way down to the ground. Bringing your hands under the shoulder if you have that on the front and side. And then push yourself up to a tabletop or an optional plank for one breath. They both very valid. If you're in tabletop, tuck the toes under. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, push your hips high up, coming to a downward facing dog for a short time. We're not going to stay here for long. But the first downward facing dog is the perfect opportunity to pedal your feet, walking out of the tightness in the legs. Fingers are still spread wide and pressing down on your mat to release the tension from the wrist. And then bring some weight to your left side so you can step forward with your right leg between the two hands and then drop the knee down. If you have a very sensitive knee, you can bring some cushion under it. Once you arrived in lunge, in low lunge, one option is to stay where you are. Another option is to walk your hands to your knees, lifting the chest up. Stay here with your knees on, with your hands on the knee. Or you can bring your hands behind Pressing on the fingers, pushing down your wrist and opening the chest even more. Maybe looking up slightly, maybe keeping the chin kiss, the chest, if that feels too much in the neck. Breathe in here, releasing the fingers, exhale to move down. If you've been on your knees, you can come down as well. You can bring your left hand close to the right knee and then lift up your right hand and arm, reaching for the ceiling, then bringing it down. Swap hands. So option to bring your right hand to the inside of your right leg, or if you have enough space, you can bring it to the outside. And then we're going to twist to the left side as well, bringing the left arm up. Maybe you're up here in your fingertips, and then bringing it down. Move your hands to both sides of the feet. Tuck the toes under, lifting up for 1 second, so you can have a better spacing between in your own body to step back to plank or to step back to tabletop. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, push your hips high up to a second downward facing dog. Still some time to pedal the feet here. Spread the fingers wide, and maybe have a little chance to play with your shoulders. Feel how the shoulder and the whole body feels when you lift your shoulders away from your ears, or when you actively push the floor away. And elevate to your right side, stepping forward between the two hands with the left leg, and then drop the right knee down, come into a low lunge. Maybe you stay here on your fingertips, or walk your hands to the knees, opening the chest. Or if you want to deeper or a bigger chest opening, bring your hands behind, clasping your fingers, and then pushing down your hands, opening the chest. Option to look up, option to keep the chin close to the chest. Then exhale, releasing, coming forward. Bring your right hand close to left knee, left foot. Bringing up your left hand, twisted to the side. And then moving down, switching hands. The option to be outside or to have your left hand to the inside of your leg, of your front foot. And then twist to the other side. You might notice that one direction or rock foot, and then exhale to release, comes up easier than the other one. Tuck the toes under, both hands on the side of your front foot, bringing the knees up, and then sliding the leg back to plank or drop down to tabletop. Whenever you are, take an inhale there, and as you exhale, push the hips high out to downward facing dog again. So here, one option is to do the same with low lunge, or if you up for a little challenge, you can try it with high lunge. So we're going to move the right leg forward again, stepping between the two hands. So option to drop the knee, or you can keep it up and then walk your hands up. So you can support yourself in the knee. If you're wobbly like me, you can bring your toes outer, so you have a bigger, wider stance, more of a hip distance probably. Option one is to stay here, lifting the chest up, or you can try to bring your hands behind, clasping on the fingers, pushing the hands down and lifting the chest up, looking up, or bringing your chin down, face the chest. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, release the fingers, coming down. We're going to twist again, same way. Left hand in the midline, close to the right foot. Inhale to lift the chest, lifting the right hand up. Then release, switching hands. Maybe coming onto your fingertips. And then twisting to the other side. Left arm comes off. And then release. Adjust your hands so they're in the either side of the feet. And then stepping back to plank. Maybe releasing to tabletop position. Inhale here. And as you exhale, be back to downward facing dog. Take an extra breath here. And then we're going to step forward with the left leg. Option here again to drop the knee, come into a low lunge. Or if you want to make it slightly harder, stay in a high lunge. Walk your hands up to the knees. Option to stay here, lifting the chest. Or you can bring your hands behind, pushing down your fingers, your hands, lifting the chest, looking up, or keeping your chin close to the chest. Then release the hands, coming down, planting your right hand on the inner side of the left foot, twisting and bringing up your left arm, and then releasing, switching hands, maybe bringing it into your fingertips, and then twisting to the other side, bringing up over your right hand, and then releasing, moving your feet to the middle, and then bringing it back to a plank, or dropping down the knee. And inhale here. Exhale to lifting up to another downward facing dog. And so we're going to do another round around. You can do the same with high lunge. You can do the first one with low lunge. Or you can even come to a child's pose and just skip the last part and take a very long and very nice child's pose. Or another option is to do the whole thing in warrior one. So keep up. We're gonna step forward with the right leg. If you're doing low lunge, drop the knee. If you're doing high lunge, walk your hands up. If you're doing warrior one, bringing your toes pointing slightly outward. Heel is coming down. And then walk your hands up to your knees, and then reaching your fingers close to the sky. Coming into warrior one position, and bringing your hands behind you, clasping on the fingers, pushing down. If you're in high lunge and low lunge, after the push down, you can keep doing the twist. If you're in warrior one, you can bring your chest forward, coming to a humble warrior, bringing the hands up to the sky, and let your head grow heavy. And the next inhale brings you up, release the fingers, moving your hands on either side of your feet, and then stepping back to plank. Take an inhale here, we're dropping your knees to tabletop. But the next exhale will bring up the hips to a downward facing dog again. We're not staying here long. Stepping forward with the right, maybe dropping the knee, maybe staying in high lunge, or maybe dropping the heel down, turning the toes outward, walking your hands up to the knee, And if you're in warrior one, bring the hands up for one breath. And then bring them behind you. Lifting the chest up, pushing the hands down away. Maybe you can touch the back of your back thighs here. And if you're in warrior one, you can humble forward, bring the hands up. If you're in low or high lunge, you can do the twist to both sides. Next, inhale brings you up, releasing the fingers. Plant the hands on both sides of the knee, lifting up the back heel, and then step back to plank. Drop your knees down, maybe walk them as wide as the mat, and bring your hips down on your heels, coming into a child's pose. And remain there. And once you're in child's pose, maybe you can bring your hands off to a reverse prayer. Keeping like this. Or feel free to have a stretch of your wrists on the other side. Maybe circling them for one way and another. And then once you release that tension, you can just bring your palms together, lifting your fingers up and over the back of your head. Then bringing your hands down, walking your hands close to your chest. We're gonna sit up on our heels. If you have your knees spread wide, you can bring them together. Legs are touching. And once you arrive, bring your hands behind, and we're gonna do another chest lifting. If you have very long arms, maybe you can reach your knuckles down on the mat, supporting you with extra around your toes. If looking up feels really uncomfortable on the neck, you can keep your chin close to the chest. And then from here, we're gonna slowly fall forward, keeping your hands behind you as they are. Coming down as much as comfortable and possible. Then bring yourself up with next inhale, releasing the fingers. And then a very simple way, we just gonna swoosh one leg or both legs forward to a seated position. Coming into Dandasana, seated stuff. Bringing the hands behind you. If you feel that you are leaning really backwards, you can always grab a block and sit on the edge, the outside edge, so the edge that closer to you. On that block, it's going to help you to bring out that small pelvic tilt. And then bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing at your hips. So forward. Toes are pointing to the ceiling. And you might want to drop your chin closer to the chest. And the chest is lifting closer to the chin. Next, inhale, reaching the fingers to the ceiling, lifting the chest. And then as you exhale, maybe bending the knees, Coming forward with your hands on any part of the legs, or maybe around your foot. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine, and then as you exhale, let everything melt down, releasing any hold from your back, from your neck, from your head. Everything goes down with gravity. Feel free to have the bend still in your knee. And maybe over time, you're going to be able to rest your forehead on the knees. Next, inhale, reaching your fingers away from you, like you want to grab something that's at your feet, like over your feet. And then coming up and releasing hands. If you have a block, you might want to move it away. Then we're going to bring the hands about one hand away from our bums. Toes are pointing down this time. And then as you inhale, bring your chest high up to the sky. You can drop your head back, or if that feels super uncomfortable, you can keep your chin close to the chest. Actively pushing your chest over into the ceiling. And release it with your next exhale, and pushing yourself up with your hands. Then bringing the right knee close to the chest. Left toes are pointing up again to the ceiling. And then bringing your right knee down on the ground. You have to feel forward with your legs. Inhale to bring up your arms. Maybe lifting your chest again close to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, twist a little bit. It's a tiny movement to your left. And then reach for your legs, toes, or in the feet, whatever you can reach. Inhale here to lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, let everything melt. Let your head grow heavy, your neck and spine relax. And then the same way to come out of the toes. So first, reaching your fingers as you want to grab something that's further away around your toes. And then bringing yourself up. Knee is coming close to your chest again, but we're not going to move it down. You're bringing your right hand behind you. Left arm comes up. And as you exhale, twist to your right, hugging your knee close to the chest. The right knee comes really close to the chest, squeezing it together. And then as you inhale, try to lengthen your spine again, reaching for the ceiling with the top of your head. And then maybe if you have any more space, you can twist slightly deeper with your exhale. And bring yourself back to the center with the next inhale. Maybe dipping on the other side as you exhale, just to counter stretch, counter twist your spine. And then you change legs, bringing the left knee to the chest, moving it to the side. The right toes are pointing upward. for the ceiling. Inhale to bring both arms up, opening the chest for the ceiling above, then twisting slightly to your right side, and then you're going to reach down for the legs, shins. Maybe your hand is just here around the knees. Maybe you can reach for your toes. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, let everything melt down. Let your head grow heavy, your spine relaxed. And as we come out, first reaching further with the fingers, and then bring us up, bringing the left knee up close to the chest, left hand, today direction has gone, left hand behind, right hand comes up, reaching for the ceiling again, and then we twist to the left side, grabbing the knee closer to the chest, squeezing it together for a second. Then with the next inhale, try to grow taller, and then maybe twist a bit more with the exhale, looking over your left shoulder. Next inhale, bring us back to the center, and with the exhale you can dip on the other side, giving yourself a little counter twist. Then bringing both knees closer to the chest. Check if you have enough space behind you, and then with control, lowering down to the mat for our final little section, bringing the legs close to the hips and knees around hip distance apart. If you have a blocking hand, you can bring it between your knees, so your knees are not gonna float around continuously, and you gotta hold the block with your knees. And bringing your palms on the mat, maybe you can reach your heels with your fingertips. And next inhale, we're gonna start to peel off the tailbone. It's a really slightly movement. Everything stays down, only the tailbone moves up and then releases you exhale. Hands are still on the mat. Yeah. Next inhale, tailbone peels off, reaching for the ceiling, and then maybe the lowest part of your back, the small of your back, comes up, and then exhale to release. So we're going to move all the way to bridge with our breath, one by one, lifting with the inhale, starting with the tailbone, and maybe moving up a little bit more of our spine, then exhale to release. Feel free to do it at your own pace, with your own rhythm of breath. Inhale to move the tailbone, move the spine, moving a bit more, and then exhale, moving everything down. Tailbone comes last to release. Inhale to peel again, lifting a bit more. Exhale to release. And once you reached for the highest, and you feel that you can't move any more, anything up, stay there for a couple of breaths. Maybe once you reach the top, you're able to move your hands together, clasping your fingers, and moving your shoulders slightly under you. Bringing your chest to a bit higher lift. And then stay here for a breath or two. And then with the next exhale, start to release everything down bit by bit. Same rules apply. Tailbone comes last. And there we go. Once you rise, stay here for a breath. If you had a block, feel free to keep it, or maybe move it to the flat side. And then bring your knee towards the chest. You can do a small lower back massage here, releasing any tension that might build up, or maybe even from rocking from side to side, or slightly rocking from backward to forward, whichever the body appreciates at this moment. And once you feel that you have that tension, if you had any, you have that tension off, or your spine is more relaxed, bring yourself back to the center, releasing your hands to the side, or if you have not enough sides like me, bring your arms to cactus position, and then drop your knees down to your right side. Maybe you can reach all the way to the ground, maybe they hovering off the floor. Feel free to let your opposite shoulder coming off from the ground this time. And then if that feels all right, look over your left hand, the opposite hand, coming into a full twist of your spine. Inhale, bringing back up, back to the center. Take an extra breath or two here. Giving some time for your spine to relax back to its normal before removing it to the other side. Bring the knees down. Maybe you realize, you notice that one side is easier than the other. Maybe looking over your right hand. Maybe your right shoulder hovers off the floor, which is perfectly fine. And just try to relax the twist with your exhales, letting the holds melting down as you breathe out. Inhale, coming back to center. Take a couple of breaths here, giving some time for the spine to come back to neutral. Maybe moving if that feels all right. Then bringing yourself up, or by rocking up from forward to backward. Or if that feels too much on your spine, you can bring yourself to your side and then push yourself up to seated. And the last choice before our relaxation that we're going to do is a supported chest opening. So if you have a block, you can grab it. We're going to place it on the shoulder blades. Or if you have a front cushion and you don't have a block, you can use the cushion or maybe two. Place your block down. try to find your shoulder blades with it whenever it's comfortable. And then let your head relax on your mat, maybe bringing the top of your head down. Maybe letting the back of your head relax on the mat, whichever feels more comfortable. Bringing your heels and feet to the side as one option, and bringing your arms to your side, letting your shoulder open. Closing the eyes here if you haven't already. And just bringing your attention back to your breath for another minute here before we move to our final relaxation, hardcore stretch. Let your shoulders relax, not holding it back if that's possible, but melting it down in the direction of the ground. Then to move out, you can bring your hands closer together, maybe bringing your knees up and simply move to your side, rolling off from your block or cushion. And bring yourself into a tiny ball on your side for a breath, maybe cuddling the knees together as if that's possible in your body today. Then moving your block of cushions aside, you can just roll back on your mat, or you can push yourself off and bring any extra layers you might need, any extra prop, cover, cushion, anything that makes you comfortable enough for our last pose, Shavasana. So Shavasana you can do laying down on the mat, maybe some support in the back of your head. If you feel that your neck and your nose is pointing up too much and your chin is far away from you, and you can bring your knees up and feet to the inner outside of the mat, and then press the rest your knees on top of each other, and then release the hands. Or my personal favorite is to prop up the back of my legs, and in this way I can relax my lower back in the most efficient way. Or maybe you can try seated relaxation, supporting your back in a wall if laying down doesn't feel comfortable at all. And once you're settled, do any more movements you need to do. Maybe a stretch, maybe just scratching your nose or clasping your fingers, whatever that brings you closer to the final relaxation. And then let any hold melt away, closing the eyes or bringing the soft gaze. And bring your focus to your breath. Feeling the raising and falling of your chest, your belly. observing the temperature of the air as you take it in and as you release it. Feel free to keep observing your breath. Or you can do a small body scanning, starting with your toes, checking into with every body part and releasing them if you find any more hold. Starting with your toes, moving up in your legs and your hips and chest in your own time. And bringing in the fingers and up in the arms to the neck and shoulder. And then again to the head. And once you reach the top of your head, relax your whole body even deeper down to the ground. And if your mind wanders around, you can always bring your attention back to your breath, back to your breathing, the raise and the fall of the chest. And I'm going to leave you here for another few minutes in silence before bringing you out of the relaxation. And slowly start to deepen your breath, filling your lungs fully with oxygen, filling your body fully with new energy. And when you feel the urge to wriggle your toes and fingers, making the movements bigger, rolling your ankles and wrists, and eventually reaching your hands above, giving yourself a big, nice, lovely stretch. And curving into a small ball, bringing your knees to chest one by one. And when you're ready, move to your preferred side, maybe staying there for a few breaths before pushing yourself up to a seated position as we started. Eyes still closed. And once you reach there, bring your fingers together, palms together, your hands in front of the chest. And stop here for a moment to truly appreciate yourself for the effort you're putting on your health in every possible way by showing up in your mat day after day, week after week. And realize that kind of act of self-love. Thanks for practicing with me today. I'm also bowing my head for you for this effort and hope to see you next time as well.